Happy New Year, beautiful souls, and I wish you and your family an amazing, happy, joyful, abundant, and healthy 2024 and beyond. So what does 2024 hold for us, our future, and the future of our planet? Starting with amazing innovations and cures for diseases, even certain strains of cancer? An attack on America? Chaos during elections? And so much to cover in this 18th annual World Predictions and Forecast for 2024. Satnam, beautiful friends, beautiful souls, happy new year and happy 2024 and beyond to you once again. In today's episode, this was recorded before a live audience on December 23rd, 2023. This is the 18th annual World Predictions live event that started in Philadelphia on the radio, moved over to Blog Talk Radio, and then over to YouTube. 18 years in a row, bringing you the forecast and predictions for the new year. In the first part of today's episode, you're going to find out all about the vibrations, how you can benefit from them, and how you can make the best out of 2024 for yourself and for your friends and family, along with very specific predictions. More dozens of very specific predictions to also help you navigate and be aware of what potential possibilities lie ahead in 2024. I hope you enjoy. So 2024 is all about giving back the power to the people. That is the theme for this year, the power to the people. And it's going to be really interesting to be a part of it and witness it. It's also ruled by both the elements of earth, fire, and water, which I'll elaborate on a little bit more in a little bit. 2024 is the Chinese New Year, the Year of the Dragon, which begins February 10th in 2024. After we exit the Year of the Rabbit, which we're currently in. China is certainly going to live up to their symbol of the dragon by breathing fire everywhere, metaphorically speaking, of course. The dragon symbolizes power, nobleness, honor, luck, and success in traditional Chinese culture. So the Chinese are definitely going to play their luck in 2024 while attempting to flex their power globally, taking many risks, including the risks in their takeover of Taiwan, which again, I will discuss that later in a little bit as well. The last year of the dragon was the water dragon. We're now currently in the wood dragon. And the last year of the dragon would have been back in 2012, the same year of the alleged end of the Aztec Mayan calendars. Kind of interesting, wouldn't you say? And quite intense year as well, if you remember back to 2012. Before that, it was the year 2000. And then before that, the year 1988. So we can reflect on all those different years of the dragon in the past, kind of pretty much determine what the energy of 2024 is going to hold. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. So the year of the Yangwood dragon will bring about visionary leaders, innovators, and problem solvers, something that we definitely need for sure on this planet right now. The dragon symbolizes strength, courage, creativity, innovation, and we can tap into this energy ourselves, the energy of the dragon, to give us that strength to conquer through the challenges and goals that we set for 2024. 2024 could literally be an amazing year that offers up amazing potential, growth, and opportunity, especially with that dragon energy coming in February of 2024. And that's backed up by the magical power of the 8 vibration in numerology. In the realm of numerology, we go through a 1 through 9 year cycle, and 2024 is the 8 year. Next year, in 2025, we step into the 9 year. The 9 year is all about the ending of the cycle, the death of cycles. I'll elaborate a little bit more on that in a bit, but the 8 vibrations all about the infinity symbol. If we turn it sideways, showing us that 2024 is loaded with infinite possibilities, which is quite amazing. So remember to tap into that energy of the dragon and the vibration of the number 8. 2024 can literally be an amazing year that offers up us so much amazing potential, growth, and opportunity, especially with that dragon energy coming in again, backed by that 8 vibration and numerology in the realm And again, we go through the 1 through 9 vibrations. The 8, we're almost at the end, but the 8 again is all a representation of infinity and our infinite possibilities. Just hold on tight, friends. That's all I gotta say, because it's gonna be so much happening in 2024 that's gonna make our heads spin. And it's a wild ride that can lead to that's gonna lead to 2025, and we're gonna see a big taste of that when we get around the month of October. October is always a reflection of what we're going to experience in the coming year. So keep a close eye on October. And even in January, because January is going to be really intense, because they're both 9 vibrations, both the month of January and the month of October. So with that said, 2025, again, is the 9 universal year, and it's all about the endings. 2023 was just basically baby steps into 2024, but 2024 is going to be monstrous steps into 2025. Much, much different, much more intense. By the time we get to 2026, absolutely everything is going to be very strange and different. You know, some good and some not so good. It's a combination of the balance of both. But by the time we step into the year 2032, we're going to step into a completely new Earth, which will be a wonderful thing. Getting there is going to be the challenge. It's going to be actually humanity's biggest challenge, getting from here to the year 2032. And not everybody's going to make it. Not everybody's going to be on board. Lots of people are going to decide to check out. And that's in accordance to their own soul contracts. We can't judge. We just have to accept. And accept the fact that we volunteered to continue our journey here on Earth. Make the best of it. The 8 vibration is when we make really intentional moves. So therefore we can expect those like the deep state, the evil doers, and even countries like China to make really intentional steps and intentional moves for power, because we're all represented by the energy of power in 2024. So of course, this is never going to lead to good when leaders are jumping into their power horses to make intentional moves that are going to harm others. The 8 is the ultimate power number, and we're going to witness so many people fighting for power, or even more so, to keep their power, like here in the United States. Somebody fighting to keep their power by doing things that they shouldn't be doing. We're not even going to get into that. We've already seen, though, at least here in the United States, that the crazy and intentional moves are being made by political leaders to take down their candidates. Very illegal and very obvious moves of power. Going into a time of power struggles, 2024. So this was already happening in 2023, but 2024 in that 8 vibration, it's going to intensify and highlight these intentional moves for power. And therefore, they can't cloak themselves with an invisibility cloak any longer. Everything's going to be seen so much more clearly in 2024. I would expect 2024 to be a historic year when it comes to, unfortunately, assassinations and folks forcefully being removed from power. Again, remember, it's all about power and power struggles in the year of 2024. And again, many people being prevented in some way or another from taking someone else's power from them. So it's going to be an interesting fight globally to witness these leaders and all these people fighting to keep their power or fighting to get into power. It's going to be fascinating to witness. So the 8 is also represented by the tarot card Strength. The tarot card Strength clearly tells us that 2024 is there to fuel our own inner strength. You got to tap into the positive of the Strength card, not the reversed aspect of the Strength card, but the upright aspect, because in turn that can give you inner strength, personal power, and strong will and determination. All what you need to accomplish so many goals and so many of your dreams in 2024. So remember to tap into your inner strength, knowing that this whole year of 2024 is represented by the Strength card. And here's what this Strength card is advising us for 2024. The Strength card is urging you to tame your animal instincts, your gut reactions, and your raw emotions, and channel these initial responses constructively. It is normal for feelings such as anger, rage, sadness, guilt, or shame to rise in certain situations. However, it is what you do with these emotions that makes the whole big difference. So now is the time when you need to be conscious of your urges, your instinct, your very instinctual urges. Very, very important. This is why we're going to see a lot of people unfortunately going a bit cray-cray. I mean, we're already seeing people go cray-cray like never before, but wait till 2024. And again, that's in my specific predictions later on down the line. Going back to the strength card, it's telling you to channel your emotions. What are you going to do with them? Watch your urges. Bring everything into balance for the greater good. That's what the strength card's there to do. There is no time right now during the year 2024 to act out on rage or hatred. We've, again, been seeing a lot of that in the world. With the strength card representing 2024, imagine how that's going to affect people. So working with a therapist could help you if you need be, or whatever coping strategies you need to get you through. It's going to be a good year, a positive year if you make it a good, positive year. And it is in your hands. Remember, your thoughts and words are the blueprints to your future. So tapping into the universal energy, the reversal energy of strength, the opposite, doing, not tapping into the good of the strength card, but the reversed aspect of the strength card. And in turn, you may be feeling defeated, depleted, sluggish. And if this occurs at any time throughout the year, it's advice from the strength card telling you that you are needing to take some time for you. That likely, and remember, the strength card shows a woman on the card. She's cloaked in white. White is a representation of purity. She's taming the lion by holding the lion's mouth open, and above her head is the infinity symbol, showing us again to take time to nurture yourself, and the lion representing yourself, taming your lion, and knowing that the infinity symbol is like the halo of the angel that floats above your head. The 8 vibration rules over finances and the economy, of course. So, as I've been saying for many, many years, 2024 could be both a great year economically, if only the evildoers actually wanted that for us. And we know they don't want that for us. They want to enslave us in their social credit score digital system. That's what they want. We got to hold in the light and resist that. We must be the resistance. So, but as I said years ago, 2024 could also be the year of complete collapse, in the beginning of the collapse of the economy. Remember, the 8 universal year is all about the economy, and it could totally screw over the economy. Remember, these elite use numbers and all to their advantage, to their aspect. They know numbers. So they know the 8 vibrations all about their infinite possibilities to do what they want with money and the financial system and the financial structure. Do I believe it'll all completely collapse? Once upon a time, I did believe it would all collapse in 2024. But at the same time, it's going to be having so many ups and downs, which again, I'll explain when I get down to that point of the economy. So many ups and downs, and I would say the biggest fall would happen likely actually next year. Because 2025 is the 9, it's the end. It's the end of it all. By the time we get to 2026 is that one vibration of all starting all over again. And that's how it's going to be for humanity by the time we get to 2026. And all the way leading up, again, to the year 2032. It's going to be intense. But remember, we signed up for this. And it's a powerful time. So this year, remember, power to the people. Take your power back. Take your power back. It's actually something I teach in my Transform into Abundance workshop program. It's one of the meditations we do. Going into meditation and calling our power back. Power that we've given away. Power that was taken from us. Both. So, and many of us are powerless. Well, I'm not, because I called my power back. But many folks are powerless. Got to call your power back. And what a better year than ever to do it in 2024. And that's what we're going to see. We're going to see people taking the power back. People getting so pissed off and sick and tired of everything that's happening in the world that they're going to step up. And that's the only way. I mean, people can sit around and bitch and complain all they want, but the only way for us to make change is to take our power back. Power to the people, friends. Power to the people. Only we can do it. Because these politicians that we voted in ain't doing it for us. They're doing it against us, not for us. So it's up to us. So that's what makes 2024 quite an exciting year too, because there's so much potential. Remember, infinite possibilities. So it's kind of really quite exciting at the same time. So there will certainly be some crashes when it comes to the economy. Again, more likely in 2025, and I would say the most risky month of all would be October of this year. And again, more on this later. I also remind you that 2025, again, is that 9 universal year, the end of the cycle. And we're going to experience a complete global reset by 2026, which is that 1 year vibration, like I told you, and let us all hold in the light and hope that that reset is not the one that Klaus Schwab wrote about for him and his WEF clonies. Let's hope not. And again, power to the people. Only we can resist their evil intentions. The 8 year can be an extremely hectic time too, at times. Not always, not the whole time. But, the 8 vibration can bring about hectic times. And if you are going through hectic times in the 8 year in 2024, remember that this is a reminder from spirit, from your guides, and from the universe that when you are feeling really overwhelmed, take it as a sign to unplug and take a little bit of time for you. This is going to be extremely important in 2024, especially during the retrograde cycles and the energy shifts. The 8 year is all about change, and it's all about this 3 year cycle that we're in, starting January 2024, ending at the end of 2026. And like I said, it's going to bring about more change than we could have ever even imagined or dreamed up, which is both good and kind of a little frightening at times, but don't be frightened. Remember, no fear, be prepared. That's what you need to do. Just be prepared. Other than that, you're good to go. Know that you're protected. Know that the universe has your back, and the universe will have your back. Always. So, too many people go into fear, or somebody left a comment the other day, oh, your predictions. Well, predictions, when it comes to world events, predictions aren't always, happy and joyful, peaches and cream. They're not. It's world events. What can you say? And I've done videos on top 10 and top positive predictions, and guess what? Nobody watched. So, but there are some positive in here today. I think it's all been positive so far, but when I get to my specific predictions, there's some good positive stuff coming our way, which I'll talk about when we get down to that point. So the 8 year is all about change, and it's all about this 3 year cycle that we just stepped into. 2024 is going to kick off some major changes and new levels of awakening as well that are going to be really, really exciting. The awakenings are the most exciting. They're not always fun because we do go through ascension symptoms, vertigo, dizziness, and even more so if you're not doing the work on yourself and you're fighting the ascension symptoms. You have to meditate, ground your energy, eat properly when we're going through those cycles. If you follow me every Tuesday, you'll know when those cycles are because I talk about it every Tuesday on our Tea Time Predictions updates. And then every month, at the end of the month, for the coming month, I always put out the predictions and the energy report for the coming month. So if you keep up with all that, you'll know. So then when you're feeling symptoms, you'll know whether it's just you or whether it is ascension symptoms. Because sometimes I've heard people say, oh, I'm having ascension symptoms. I'm like, but we're not in an ascension right now. Energetically together as a cult. Now, we do have personal ascensions as well. But as a whole, most of it's all together as a whole. It happens on the whole planet. Some people are resistant to it. We've seen so many people, more people waken in 2023. That's exciting. So exciting. And Spirit says it's going to be double, triple that in 2024. And that's what we need. We need people to know and figure it out on their own. You can't help people. You cannot force people to awaken. You can't force people to see things that they think in their minds conspiracy that we know are truths. Now, there are some that are conspiracies, like the earth is flat. Leave your comments. I don't want to, no comments on that, please. Thank you. Everything revolves in the world and in our soul contracts in a circle. The circle of life. Hello. Just saying. But anyway, yes, that's what 2024. I just had a brain fart. So now I'm going to move on. But it is an exciting time in the ascension that we're going to receive and how many people are going to ascend in comparison to the past years. It's been happening since 2020, and the 2020 vision opened us up to that level of ascension, and it keeps happening. We just had at the end of 2023 the largest sun flare event, like huge, that's all about ascension. And some people don't believe that or don't think that the sun affects us, our minds, and everything on this planet, and they're very disconnected to think that or believe that. I mean, it's scientifically proven it affects everything. And if it affects everything on the planet, it affects us because we are part of the planet. We are part of the planet. The planet isn't ours. We live on her. So this year, 2024, it's a year of understandings due to that 8 vibration. And it is also represents, again, power, structure, and again, finances. So 2024 is going to make you or break you when it comes to your own personal finances. and your decisions, of course. And even on a global scale, based on the decisions of leaders and big bankers. And let's face it, like I said earlier, they're part of the cabal, the big bankers, and we know what they want. Complete control and complete collapse. The Great Reset, as written by Klaus Schwab. Anyway, and I hold in the light that they're not going to get their way. And I always go with what Spirit told me ever since I was a little ankle biter back in the day. The visions I had of the big waves hitting the ocean, hitting the East Coast when I was a kid. All kinds of visions I'd have continuously as a kid. And I always knew that I'd be a part of it. And I always knew what Spirit told me, that we have an opportunity to step into the new earth. And in order to step into the new earth, we need to ascend and not worry about everybody else's ascension. And we ascend much easier and much higher frequencies when we do the work. Meditation, ceremony, prayer, and most importantly, reconnecting to nature. Getting outside, talking to nature, connecting with nature. See, when you connect to nature, I had deer come right. Now, I know up in the Poconos in Pennsylvania, it's common the deer are used to people feeding them, so they come up to you. Not out here where I live. Deer they run from people. But I had them come right up to me. One of them, the other one ran, but one of them came up to me. That's being connected to nature. When you connect to nature and the vibe, it's the best thing. The natives have been telling us that forever. So with the infinite possibilities that are offered up by that 8 vibration, 2024 can also be a year that can help you align with your true calling in life. How many people, a majority of clients, have called me over the decades saying, I want to know what my true calling is, or what my soul's mission is. And I believe we all have the same soul mission: to reach levels of abundance, joy, and happiness we didn't believe possible, and to ascend spiritually by doing the work. And unfortunately, I don't believe less than 1% ever reach that point. But now we're in a time where a much larger percentage will reach that point, because we must, in order to step into the new earth and the new earth nation. It's going to be really exciting. And again, we have to do work. We're not just going to step into it and wake up one day, we're going to be there. You can't resist the change. You have to flow with it, friends. You have to flow with it. So infinite possibilities. And again, knowing that this can bring you your true calling in life. Don't look for what you're meant to do. Don't search. Don't just ask the universe. Thank you, universe, for showing me what is the best potential for me to do. Whether it's business, career, relationships, whatever, finances. Just always put it out to the universe. Universe is there to bring it to you. Universe is literally your Uber driver. And the Uber driver only needs a destination, not directions. Don't need to know how to get there. I'll get you there. That's what your Uber driver says. That's what the universe says. I will get you there. Just give me a destination. Where are you? Do you need me to stop anywhere on the way? And it's truly how it works. So know that. And this could be the year, for sure, of all years, the best year ever for you to access a true new calling that you would have never believed you would have been doing until you're doing it. And you're like, damn, like me living out here. I look around all the time like, damn, why didn't I do this 20 years ago, 30 years ago? It's kind of like that. Same exact thing. So the 8 is a demanding energy too. It's a very demanding, pushy energy, like demanding, pushing people. That's why it's a power thing and a power struggle this year. And being the energy is pushing us right out, it's going to push us right out into the world, this energy. It's pushy. So the 8 vibrations pushing you right out in front of the whole world with your eyes wide open, your ears wide open, and your heart wide open. Remember that. That's why it's important to keep yourself grounded, connected, and again, connected to nature. But Spirit showed me that in the vision when I was doing this yesterday, actually. Showed me universe pushing us with the 8 vibration, pushing us right out into the world with everything wide open. And this will add to the next big waves of energy that are meant to help ascend us and ascend our consciousness to the next level. That's what makes us ascend even higher to higher frequencies, because we're being pushed right out with our eyes, ears, and heart wide open. So in turn, we're going to see more vividly, Spirit says. Everything's going to be more vivid. And I've noticed this over the past few years already. Me and a few people within my tribe have noticed this. But Spirit says this is a big one this year, where people are going to begin, when they ascend consciously, to see things more vividly, see the world more vividly. As if someone just added more color to your view and more light to your view. Add more brightness and everything to your world. That's what it's going to be like. And again, you may have noticed it. I've been noticing it for especially the past year and a half, I'd say. 2 years max. about that. But things look, you notice things. That's the ascension, clarity. When you reach higher levels of frequency through ascension, you begin to see things more clearly. So you gotta, again, not push your friends and family into believing what you believe or trying to get them to awaken. It's not gonna happen. You're only preventing your own ascension by trying to get others to ascend with you. See what I'm saying? You can't push other people to awaken. You can put stuff in front of them, and if they don't accept it, oh well. It's only the universe and spirit that's going to help them to awaken. There's nothing you can do to awaken other people. Nothing at all. So don't waste your energy, because when you do waste your energy, again, you're diminishing your own frequency, and you're causing a resistance to receiving the new frequencies, and you don't realize you're doing it because you're so focused on getting your spouse to awaken, or your kid to awaken, or your boss to awaken. It's just not going to happen, friends. It's just not going to happen. So when we begin to see things in a brighter light and brighter color, we can also more easily see and determine the truth. That's the most important, especially being that the 8 vibration is going to drag so much more truth into the light that we will, again, it'll make our heads completely spin. It's going to be quite interesting. We're going to see new innovations in the current systems soar, while we're going to see other systems completely collapse. But those that do collapse, Spirit shows that those that collapse in 2024 can be rebuilt back up much better and much stronger than they were previously. It's kind of like they're showing me the Eiffel Tower collapsing. Showing me that vision right now. It reminds me of the tarot card, the Tower. Wasn't that the card last year? I picked 3 cards, and I forgot to pick 3 cards this year. But we know the strength card's there. But yeah, Spirit's showing me a vision of the Leaning Tower of Pisa falling over. So I don't know if Spirit's giving me that vision now. I wouldn't doubt it. Or if it's metaphoric and showing me the Tower card. I'm going to say that, yeah, probably chances are something's going to happen with the Leaning Tower of Pisa over there in Italy. And some type of a potential collapse or a partial collapse of it. And it needing to be rebuilt or partially rebuilt from the ground up. So there's a prediction that just came out of the wind. Gotta love those. They're always the best ones, too, that just when they interrupt the show. We interrupt this broadcast for this prediction. Gotta love the spirits, man. You gotta love the spirits. I love the spirits. Now I got an extra spirit over my shoulder watching over me over there. Precious Mary Jean. So an overwhelming year that 2024 is going to bring with constant reminders to take time for yourself, friends. Take time for yourself. There's going to be so many unexpected losses. There will be major reversals in your way of life. We may often feel very stuck throughout the year, like you're hanging upside down. Things being turned upside down and the universe shaking everything out of your pockets. Remember, when you're feeling that and experience that, it's a good thing. And that's what the world's going to see. We're going to see the world being turned upside down and shaken. And everything coming out of the pockets. Oh, what's in pockets? What do people put in their pockets? Things they hide, right? So lots of hidden things are going to come out when the universe shakes everything. But when you're feeling this on a personal level and things are feeling like everything's being turned out, remember, it is a good thing because in many ways, in order for a major rebirth to occur, that's what needs to occur. And it's not always fun feeling. And we're going to see a lot of that even in this 3-year cycle that we're in. So with so much emphasis on power in both the dragon and the 8 vibrations together, both of them representing power, which is really, really interesting. It's like double power. And then we have the strength card too. That's like triple power, actually triple power in the year 2024. So with both of those representations of the dragon and the 8 vibrations representing power, we're also going to see so many breaches of trust between nations and leaders as well. We're basically going to be witnessing also the collapse of political and power structures, something that we can also be very positive. It could be a very positive thing for all of us and for the world. We need it all to collapse. Something that can also be positive in the long run. You know, not just now, but in the long run being positive. Sometimes things happen and they don't look so positive when they occur. But in time and in the long run, we look back and be like, yeah, that was good that happened. You know, look what changed on a positive level because of that incident or that whatever. So remember that if that happens to you on a personal level, remember sometimes we have to wait for the long haul to reap the benefits of whatever happened in our lives. And that's what's going to be the case for the whole world in 2024. Political and power structures unlike anything we've witnessed so far. In 2024, leaders will also no longer have the ability to operate in their authoritarian, I can never say that word, their controlling enslavement. I just had a brain freeze. They can't be those deceptive leaders that want to take us into an authoritarian world of enslavement. They can't do that with an invisible cloak anymore. That's basically the point I'm getting to. They can't. Like, they've been doing these things behind our back for so long, like invisibly with nobody noticing. Well, in 2024, they ain't going to be able to do that anymore. They're not going to be able to hide their agenda like they've been hiding, even though they put it out in papers right in front of us like Agenda 2030. But people don't believe it. The sleepers will say, oh, it's conspiracy, right? That's what they'll say. So we need events to take place where they're not just looking or reading something. That's why I said you can't awaken people. Don't give them anything. It's not going to do any good. They have to receive it from someone else, especially if it's coming from someone in their circle. They're not going to awaken. Again, you're wasting your time. So these people, these elite, are going to be able to go about their ways, but not remaining invisible any longer. It's a new level of clarity that's going to allow so many folks to catch on to their evil agenda, and it's going to be quite exciting, actually. And we'll see some of that in January, Spirit just said. So the 8 is also a time to take our power back. All the energy and power that has been squeezed from us, we can easily call this back into our body, mind, and spirit and utilize our newfound power to ignite more passion and determination. Call your power back, friends. 2024 is truly a year where power goes to the people, like I said. And we must always remember that it is only us together as a whole, like a family, only us together, that hold the power of the people. We don't hold power to the people if we're doing it by ourselves. Power to the people means all the people come together to take our power back. And then people will begin to show how fed up they are in 2024. Power to the people, baby. Yeah. Election season is going to be really a lot of fun. A lot of fun to watch and witness the fight between two power heads. Going to be really interesting. So remember, the 8 vibration is also the infinity, and infinity continuously flows. It's a continuously flowing energy. It never stops. So 2024 is all about flow. And it's all about allowing this flow so that things like money can flow in your life. So in order for things like money to flow into your life, you got to let some of it flow out. You have to add to the flow of the energy so that you can receive it back and it flows back to you 10 times over. Your personal economic situation would also be influenced highly by whatever personal year you're in numerology as well in 2024. And how you do your personal year in numerology is you add your birth month to your birthday, not the year. Forget about the year you're born. It's irrelevant. Just your birth month and your birthday. All right, so I'm September 22nd. So 9 plus 2 plus 2. That's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? And then you break it down again. 3 plus 1 is 4. So I start with the 4. You add whatever number you come up with to the year that we're in. So 8 year. So if you're a 4 and 8 year, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 2 plus 1 is 3. That puts you in a 3 personal year. So again, add your month. So say you were December 3rd. So 1 plus 2 plus 3. What is that? That's 6. Add that 6 to the year we're in, an 8. What's that come out to? So they'd be in a 5 personal year if you add it all together. And you always take 2 digits and add it together to break it down to 1 single digit. Real simple. And if you don't know how, there's a don't ask in the comments. Go find the numerology calculator. It's free. It's online. Just Google, preferably DuckDuckGo, numerology calculator. And you can just put it in. You can even find out what your name adds up to. Everything. Just do that if you want to find out what your personal number is. So if you're in an 8 year personally, and we're in an 8 year universally, it's superpower for you, baby. Superpower, money power too. But remember, you can make it or break it when it comes to finances in the 8 vibration. And of course, again, we know the elite want to break it when it comes to the global economy. And I think they'll wait towards the end of the year before they do that. 2024 is going to also be a year in which we do get to witness much more generosity and caring people. How lovely is that going to be? I experienced a lot of that from y'all over the past couple weeks and the loss of my pet and the gifts that you sent and so much, and I'm so grateful. But we're going to see this on a global scale. The 8 vibration is all about bringing out the generosity and the caring people. Something that we can agree the world all needs a whole hell of a lot more of, that's for sure. And it will sadly be a combination of not so pretty global events, along with some new light codes that flow in with the ascension codes that are going to be responsible for bringing out the caringness of people. And even, those that care, it's going to make them want to care even more. It's going to be interesting. And these new light codes that come in, they're going to flow in after we receive, according to Spirit, record-breaking sun flare activity in a small period of time, which will ascend many not so caring people into a level of much more caring people. That'll be so lovely. I love it. See, as much as things could be horrible in the world, there's so many good things in the world too. So 2024 would also be a year where we will see more wide-scale humanitarian efforts taking place finally, reaching the desperate populations that need it. Years back, I predicted that we would see food shortages and large levels of starvation, which we began to see right now in places like Gaza in 2023. But in 2024, this is going to shift and help shift humanity's eyes more than anything, because it's what we need humanity to see, and want to care about it. And that's what's going to happen. People are going to shift. It's going to shift humanity's eyes. It's going to shift humanity's hearts. And it's going to be quite amazing. And now those that need help will actually receive it. We can also see new humanitarian groups that are going to rise up, like nonprofit humanitarian groups that are going to rise up and come out of nowhere. Some even bigger and better than the ones that are there now. And even several celebrity and music humanitarian fundraising events taking place. I got that earlier in 2023 or mid-2023. I had visions of that big fundraising concert, which hadn't happened. Sometimes predictions take a year or sometimes 2 to 3 years, depending. So being it came up to me again when I was preparing and channeling this information from Spirit, I would expect that definitely to be in 2024, that we're going to start to see this. And that's that 8 vibration. That 8 vibration's all about, again, humanitarian efforts. It's all about caring. It's all about the infinite flow and infinite possibilities. It's an exciting vibration to be in. I know my 8 year was exciting. My 8 year is actually when we went on global arrest, lockdown. And I started teaching my master classes. That was just a great year and whole. It was a really good year. And that's when I actually got out of that house and came here to Lady Evelyn Ann. Isn't she lovely? So, isn't she lovely? Isn't she beautiful? Where was I? Yeah, so we're going to start to see humanitarian efforts finally reaching desperate populations in desperate places like Gaza. We're going to see lots of big fundraising and celebrity efforts to raise funds for different people and events that haven't happened yet. So that's the other thing we got to think about. If Spirit says big humanitarian efforts, it's not just Gaza. So where else is it? And why is it? I'm going to say one of them is going to be because of a massive, massive earthquake. The biggest earthquake on record hitting in 2024. That just came to me, by the way, because I didn't really get to focus on weather predictions. I have very little for weather right now, but I'll have more later. So going back to these, and actually Spirit also said these fundraising events and things and humanitarian efforts we'll see even more so towards the latter half of 2024. From September, October, especially pop out at me very, very strongly. So I would expect that to be, both those months. September is an 8-month in numerology in the 8 year. So again, that would heavily influence the economy, but it could be actually for the better. That could be a month that you can make a lot of money because it's double eights, the 8 year, the 8 month. October is the month where I say that there's going to be falls with economic conditions because it's the 9 vibration. So, you could probably make a lot of money if you dump what you need to dump before we get to October. Remember, I am not a financial expert or advisor. I am spirit man, psychic, spiritual medium. So 2024 is going to bring a strong focus on our health and health issues. Hence, the reason for the humanitarian efforts as well. That's going to be part of what ignites it throughout the year. On personal levels, it's a perfect year to make amazing changes to your body, mind, and spirit. Hey, I signed up for the gym. I can't wait to start going every day. I'm going to be completely different physique by this time next year. You watch. Because now I can, unfortunately, because I don't have my baby girl. I miss her so much. But now I can go whenever. Sometimes I couldn't go when I wanted to go. That's just how it is because of my schedule. Sometimes I just can't go when I want to go because of my schedule or my baby girl. But now I've made a dedication to it. So you should do a dedication to your body, mind, and spirit. And I say body, mind, and spirit. So body means, how we take care of ourselves physically, what we eat and put in our bodies. The mind is reading, taking a class, absorbing some knowledge and wisdom, and spirit is your connection to the divine. Meditation is your deepest connection and prayer to the divine. And that's what this year is a big focus on. And you don't want to end up not paying attention and heeding. It's not a warning, but it can be a warning that if you don't heed this energy and flow with the 8 vibration that continuously flows, and flow that into the direction of your body, mind, and spirit, then come next year when we're in the 9, there will be a lot of issues with your health. And next year, the 9 vibration is when I would say the next big outbreak would happen and the potential lockdown again happening. That would be next year. And I wouldn't even doubt that could even start towards the end of this year because, again, this year is a focus on the health. So I would say October, and this is coming to me now, October 2024 would be a month where we need to watch for outbreaks, bugs, and diseases. And I got more on outbreaks in my specific predictions, and I'm almost towards them, I believe. So it's going to be a big focus on your health. Hence, the humanitarian efforts that are going to be ignited throughout the year. On personal levels, it's the perfect year to make amazing changes to your body, mind, and spirit. But remember the phrase throughout the year. Keep telling yourself throughout the year, infinite possibilities. Infinite possibilities. Just keep telling yourself it's possible. Don't tell yourself it's not possible. You can't get in shape, or you can't lose weight, or you can't quit smoking, or you can't do whatever. Infinite possibilities. Anything can come into your favor during the year 2024. Now, January 2024 is going to bring about the most intense energy, starting off with a new year stronger than we've had started off a new year in over a decade. It's going to start off intense. Also, we're in that Mercury retrograde still, only until January 2nd. Then we go into the post-shadow. But it's going to be really intense, especially, Spirit just said, especially around the full moon. Full moon, I believe, is, the day after Christmas, 26th. That's when the energy shift comes in. That's right. I forgot all about that. So we're in an energy shift. That's why it starts off intense. We're in the energy shift beginning January 1st, and that don't end until the 11th, 111. That's when we end the energy shift. The full moon is in the 25th of January. So yes, it's at the very, very end of January. Interesting. And Spirit says be aware during that time period. I would expect maybe, perhaps, don't quote me on this, perhaps there'll be some light codes that come flying in during that time period, maybe. So January 2024 is going to bring about the most intense energy, starting off the new year stronger than we've experienced in at least a decade. The 9 vibration of January is all about endings, death of cycles, letting go of and getting rid of. Along with that, Mercury retrograde and energy shift is also all about getting rid of and letting go and clearing things. It's all about endings. So perfect time. It's the beginning of the year. Let go of whatever is lingering from 2023. Let it go, friends. Let it go. So that way you can have yourself a perfect, February when we step into the 1 vibration. So clean up the clutter. January, clean up the clutter. Clean out your closet. Do whatever you can to promote that energy. When we get into February, we're going to step into the 1 vibration, which makes February the perfect month to set your goals, start new adventures, and the reminder to yourself to stay grounded energetically. Because when we're in a one vibration, you're so much all over the place. All over the place when you're in a one. It's like you were just born trying to figure everything out all over again. So keep yourself grounded and you won't be all over the place. Spirit says that February is also going to usher in the new light codes, actually, to add to our ascension, likely as a result of significant sun flares. So we've got to look for February, probably right after the full moon in January. So maybe the first week of February, I'm just guessing, I don't know. August is another month that popped out at me really, really strongly. And that is a great time of ascension, according to Spirit. This could also be the month in August where we see the most sun flare activity of all and the biggest ascension codes of all in that 8th month, including solar flares that are responsible for a big hit to some grids and electronics in one small part of the globe. The small part of the globe is going to be the part that receives the direct hit from this sun flare. Remember, 2024 is certainly going to be a solar maximum year. Huge. And I think the last time we had a solar maximum year was 2011. And look what happened in 2011, the big earthquake and tsunami that hit our friends in Japan on March 11th, 2011. I would expect to see several events like that again in 2023. I will focus more on weather predictions in a separate weather 2024 weather prediction video. That just popped in my brain. So I guess Spirit's making me do that. I do have some for you to weather for you in a little bit. But I didn't have time to focus on weather as much as I would like to. And weather is literally a whole video in its own, because it's just so much to talk about when it comes to weather and map scrying. So I'll do that. I'll work on that this week, actually. I forgot all about that. Let's just talk about the economy for a moment as well, because changes in economies that seem to bring gains, but they're all, Spirit says, temporary. So like I said, up big waves with the economy when we're in an 8 vibration. Big old waves. Big waves and big ups, people will make big gains and can make lots of money, even on cryptocurrencies. Spirit just said a new crypto, I'm not getting what it is, a new one, and I don't know if it's out yet or not yet. A new one can actually help you to profit quickly, but you have to get in the beginning and get out when it goes up. I'm going to have to look for that one. Anybody that has any hints to what that could be, please let us know down below in the comments. I don't think it's out yet. I feel like it's coming. And you have to act quickly, Spirit says. So hopefully I'll get more information, and it's all the more reason to make sure you subscribe and hang out so that you never miss content and you never miss any information, because we always touch base on it every Tuesday. So changes in the economy that's going to bring gains, but Spirit again said they're temporary gains. Do not expect things to be stable. Be very mindful and cautious as to where you invest or place your money. Remember, the next 3 years, 2024 to 2026, absolutely everything will reset in some way or another, causing a majority of people to have losses and not gains. Too much money, not even just money. They can have losses. The majority of people are going to have losses of money, assets, property, real estate, or what have you. So you got to be very, very, very careful. Now, like real estate, Spirit's like now's the time to get rid of it, not the time to buy it. So another time to watch out for is July for some reason. Watch the markets in the month of July. Some type of big event that occurs in early July, probably conflict related, is going to cause a big drop and dip. Those that get in the right amount of time and then get out again can make a lot of money during that time. When it takes the hit in July, that would be the time to get into certain specific stocks. I don't know what they are. And again, as we get closer, I'm sure Spirit will give us information on a Tuesday show. We're going to witness the beginning stages of the collapse definitely this year. And soon after governments are going to start to collect your money, your change, your physical change. That'll be one of them. Remember, they tried that whole change shortage during 2020 in the bug, saying, germs. Yeah, they're going to use that because people are like, it's true, yeah. But you can't live in fear over germs on your money. Spray your money with germicide or something. I don't know. But that's what you got to do. And so we're going to witness the beginning of stages of the collapse, and again, different governments beginning to collect the change in the physical money in order to force their citizens to eventually go digital. We will see a huge push towards digital currencies, and physical money is going to slowly disappear in 2024. I would say that by 2026, almost everyone, if not everyone, will be changed over into a digital currency system by 2026. So October, the economy is expect the bigger falls in the markets and fluctuations in the markets in the month of October, including the housing markets. This would even include gold, silver, precious metals. Big falls in October. Beware, friends. That is the 9 vibration. I think we're going to see some of that without a doubt in January too. But again, Spirit said October. And you heard what I just said a few minutes ago about July. And that's not in my notes. Spirit told me about July just with me hanging out with you all right now. So with that said, personally, I am not a financial advisor. I'm Spiritman, spiritual medium. But I will tell you that personally, I would wait a little bit to invest or purchase anything like gold or silver. I wait a little while. The only thing you should be investing in right now is food, water resources, and survival gear such as a generator if you lose power, and a plan. Because weather events are going to get so intense, things are going to get so intense on the planet that it's not even going to be the conflicts that we need to worry about. We're going to need to worry about the conflict of Mother Earth and her shifting plates, because the plates are shifting, or the poles are shifting, absolutely 100%. Remember the prophecy. And if you missed my video, and I forget what it's titled, April 29th or April 13th, 2029, when the planet Nibiru comes into our solar system, or not the planet Nibiru, but the comet, actually, which is in the Hopi prophecy. As we approach that time period, each year as we get closer and closer to 2029, Earth events are going to intensify. And more and more and more. And so, but this year's just a small taste of what's ahead according to Spirit. So we'll just have to see. So have yourself a backup plan, friends. Massive layoffs and major shutdowns of companies and factories, including several car manufacturers. People will begin to actually simply stop paying their mortgages. Hey, I said that a long time ago. If we all just decided one day to not pay them, what are you going to do? We're not going to pay you anymore. Nothing. We're not going to pay anybody anything. We're just going to buy food. That's it. That would change everything very, very quickly, especially credit card companies that rip you off and keep this country suppressed the way it is. Credit cards did it all. Credit. Bad. So Spirit shows me again shutdowns of companies and factories, and a point where people begin to stop paying their mortgages. And this, of course, would lead eventually to a crash. More companies will, and Spirit just said to me that, what do you call it? I just had a freeze again. Freeloaders that go into people's homes, squatters is going to be a big, huge problem in mid to late 2024, especially in 2025. As homeless people start taking over empty homes, or even homes that aren't really empty, even people that are Airbnb, but it's empty that week. And in one particular city, I don't know which one, probably California, it's going to become a huge issue, to the point that the government's not allowing the owners of these properties to get rid of the people. That's a problem. I'm sorry, if I own that property and the government isn't helping me get rid of squatters, that's a problem. Sorry, that's just not right at all. And that's the not right we're going to begin to see. I'm sure it's probably already happening now, but on a more major scale. Got to watch out for that California, says the Spirits. Got to watch out for that government. More companies are going to also begin to merge with each other. While mergers are going to be brought about by big corporations, of course, to make the big corporations bigger. This is actually a tactic that's being used by companies such as BlackRock. They're the biggest culprit of them all, for a big world takeover. So that, when you pay your phone bill, there's only one company. There's only one electric company. That's their world order. That's their world government. Whereas just one company that consumes all the money. That's going to be BlackRock and its affiliate. I can't remember the name of the other one, but it's those two. And so one group or one corporation that owns everything and everyone. That's what they want. One group, one corporation that owns everything, and you will own nothing, and you'll be happy. Remember, that's their slogan at the WEF. It's right on their homepage in their video. You will own nothing, and you will be happy. Well, who's going to own it all? BlackRock and the elite, of course. Big rich families. The Illuminati. Anyway, let's move on to 2024 predictions, and I got to take a break in a moment because how many pages are... Oh, we're not even halfway through yet. All right, let me move on. It'll be easier when I read the specific predictions. But 2024 elections, because of the deep state cabal, is going to first attempt to assassinate Donald Trump and also RFK. Spirit shows me that there are several agendas being planned right now of how they're going to take over that whole election. The other... one would be that, well, actually, Spirit shows me they have two different agendas. And one of their agendas, too, is to start a new war with Iran. And they're looking for a way to cancel the elections, according to Spirit. I don't feel that they're going to succeed. And again, together, we hold in the light that they don't succeed and that everybody has a fair chance at running in the election. Everybody, including DT, whether people like them or not. I could care less for any of them. Quite honestly, I think it's all rigged, all of it, all since they took out JFK. I think they controlled it all since. It's just my feeling. But regardless, I think it's all just a big old show. Big old show. So, but there is a plan, though. And here's the thing. There's actually more than one dark group. So people can say white hats, black hats, whatever. We'll talk about black hats. There's more than just one group of black hats. You have different groups that aren't connected and different groups that don't like each other, too. A lot of people don't know that DT is actually a member of the Freemasons, the Scottish Rite, which is huge. Whereas the other ones are connected to another, black hat group. So there's different groups, and they're all fighting for power one way or another. So, they could all be bad, but, there is no lesser of the evil because they're all still connected to one big old web in darkness. A web of darkness that's controlled by one spider and her family. That's it. Unfortunately. But that's all going to change, friends. It's all going to change. So they are still going to do something and pull something off to try to cancel elections and even call martial law. Martial law is in my predictions, specific predictions I'll tell you about in a little bit. But I feel, again, that they're going to somewhat fail. Mostly fail. Not completely fail, but somewhat fail. And the elections, unfortunately, are going to accomplish their mission in bringing more of a divide amongst the people. I believe that the ascension codes and all this, the awakening ascension codes that are coming in and light codes in 2024 will have a lot more people seeing the truth here is what we need. But I also saw visions of the streets in big cities within the United States completely crowded with angry people. Or happy people. I don't know. I couldn't tell if they were angry or happy. I just saw a vision of crowded streets. I saw a vision of Washington, D.C. becoming overwhelmed to the point that once again they fence in the entire White House like a prison, while JB hides in his Delaware bunker. That'll be interesting. So something's happening. Something big is happening. And there will be a martial law called in several cities. Now, this doesn't have to be just the United States, friends, because I could see this happening in Israel. Martial law, parts of Africa, different countries within Africa that have incidents that call martial law. Argentina may actually have an incident too that they end up having to call martial law. And then in several cities, probably within the United States, I'd say New York City is going to be one of them, calling martial law in New York City. Now, I am recording this on December 23rd, 2023. With my friends and supporters on Zoom that I love so much. So you're seeing this on New Year's Day. So God only knows what happens on New Year's Eve because this is being recorded before. But New Year's Eve, I've been seeing visions of something bad happening in New York City during the big ball dropping. And I saw that, I don't know if it was 2 years ago. And I don't remember exactly what I saw and said. And again, sometimes things take 2 to 3 years to happen. But now that looks much more plausible. That prediction is way more plausible than when I made that prediction 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure it was 2 years ago. Something's happening. And, if it's not this year, I thought that they would cancel it. I honestly thought they'd be smart enough to cancel it for once. Cancel it, but not cancel it. Maybe do it a televised or something, not have all those people on the streets. But they're not doing that, and I feel like they're going to regret that. And remember, I feel 2025 is going to be much more intense and more of a concern about stuff like that. It is a concern now in 2024, but I feel like, attacks and things like that are even a bigger concern in 2025. And we'll start to see that ignite more towards the end of 2024, September and onward. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. And I told you I don't have a whole lot when it comes to weather, other than telling you right now that 2024 is going to be the hottest year on record so far. I see extreme activity igniting around Hawaii. Hawaii jumped out at me very strong. California jumped out at me very strong when it comes to earthquake activities. It's going to be almost like literally an alarm clock constantly going off in California, especially when we get around the time of April and May. April and May jump in my mind from the spirit for California. Big thing is, remember what I said about, you don't know because I didn't tell you yet. It's in my predictions down below. So I'll hold off. You'll have to wait for that prediction about San Francisco. So that could be related. They could be connected. So Japan, March and April jumped out for Japan. Seeing floods as a result of heavy snows in the northern parts melting along with storms making streets of Tokyo look like rivers. I see a lightning storm. This was really neat vision, actually. I saw a lightning storm that was like nothing I've ever seen before. The sky constantly lighting up. I see so many strikes of lightning rocketing down from the sky, hitting somewhere on the earth. Record-breaking amounts of lightning strikes and lightning causing fires. Remember, earth, fire, and water in 2024, I'm sorry. I'm still stuck back in 2023. So lightning causing fires and everything being ignited from buildings on fire and even a huge wildfire ignited from this lightning storm. I don't know where it is, where this is happening, and it might be multiple places, not just say United States. I didn't get a place. I just saw the vision of this storm. It was unlike anything I ever saw before. I didn't feel like it was a hurricane. I just felt like it was a crazy, crazy storm. It was crazy electromagnetic and electricity. The elements, remember that rule 2024 are a combination of earth, water, and fire. So therefore, we're going to see a combination of massive earthquakes and earth activity. Earth activity will include volcanic eruptions and all kinds of other earth events. We're also going to see more flooding on a much larger and much wider scale than we've seen in the past. And sadly, fires, of course. They want to burn us out. I told you that. We know what happened in Hawaii, friends. We know what happened to the poor folks in Hawaii. You think that that's the first time that's happened? No, they've done it before and they'll do it again. And they're going to hit 3 big targets in 2024. But we hold in the light that they can't do so behind the cloak anymore. They can't do so invisible, that they will be caught some way or some. I mean, to me, they already been caught for Hawaii, but not enough that people aren't saying anything because the media is all owned by the same people. So they don't want anybody to know. And when we catch on to the truth on platforms, what do they do to us? That's what they do to us, right? So a lot of activity, a lot of flooding, and much wider, larger scale. And fires, intentional ones, of course, like we saw in Hawaii and a few other places in 2024. Be sure to tune in again to my Tea Time show every Tuesday on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, wherever. It ends up on Rumble and Spotify later, but it ends up on there. So make sure. And if you are on Spotify, please do go over on to Spotify, download your free app today, and follow me. Spirit Speaks Predictions. I need your follow. I need your follow, baby. And I thank you for doing so. Anything else on weather? That's all I have for weather right now. But again, I will do a weather prediction video. And so China. You know, they sent their spy balloons over United States and probably other places too. that were shot down allegedly by the government. Well, they showed us they shot down something. So we had that happen. But now the Chinese are also crossing our borders into United States, and not just United States, several other countries as well, such as France and the UK. And they are doing so with direct help from the CCP. This is a fact, friends, but no one seems to be doing anything about it. Simply discussing it would be all we need first, a discussion, but it's not being discussed like it should be discussed. This should be a huge red flag to anybody and everyone, no matter what country you're in. Anybody with a half a brain knows that China has an agenda behind assisting these young Chinese men, no women, no children, just young Chinese fighting kind of men being sent over here. What do you think that's all about, friends? Just young guys with no women and children, bringing them into our countries? But why exactly? Why do you think? Why do you think? China ain't no dummies. They know what they're doing. And they're getting help. People like JB's helping them out, making it happen for whatever payoff. Dum-dums. Less than smart. So why exactly, again, is this happening? Why are they shipping all these, and the CCP's paying for it, okay? So this is what anybody with a half a brain should be asking why, or even already know why. They're planning sleeper cells, friends. They're planning them in at least 5 different countries, Spirit said. 5 different countries the CCP is invading with immigrants that they're putting there on purpose to create sleeper cells, according to Spirit. That they plan to activate in the future only if need be, Spirit says. Only if need be. So I kind of figured this was pretty easy to figure out. This is my interpretation. An invasion of Taiwan. So if they invade Taiwan and say United States gets involved, or UK, or any of the 5 countries that Spirit said, 5 countries that these sleeper cells, Chinese sleeper cells are being formed, any of those countries interfere, they'll activate their sleeper cells. So they have themselves protected to take over Taiwan. That's exactly what they're doing. And they plan to accomplish that mission by the end of 2024. Remember, it's the year of the dragon. The dragon is their symbol. They're going to flex their fire, they're going to flex their power, and they're going to flex right into Taiwan. And perhaps cause the third great conflict, which I don't believe is going to happen in 2024. So anybody tells you, oh, World War III's here? No, it's not. And really, technically, it's already here because it's a different kind of war. It's not a physical war. It's more of an information war and a war for our rights and freedoms. But when it comes to an actual conflict, I'd say 2025 would be the year that would ignite. I just want to take a moment to welcome you to my channel and back to my channel. My name is Joseph Tittel, aka Spiritman JT, and I am so grateful that you are hanging out with me on this New Year's in 2024. I want to thank all my members of the community down below and the members of the Subscribe Star Awaken Your Spirit community and the contributors that make this free content possible for everybody. I couldn't have done it without you. I especially want to thank all those who contributed to the live Zoom event and predictions forecast that we recorded on December 23rd, 2023, only a few days after my dog had passed away. You gave me the ability to take off the time I needed to grieve and to prepare all this amazing content for you. I thank you with infinite love and gratitude. Thank you for being a part of the tribe, smashing that subscribe if you want accurate predictions, prophecy, and truth. Also, remember to join me every Tuesday for Tuesday's Tea Time Predictions Update, where we cover world events and stories, how they align with predictions and prophecy with new predictions each and every week. And also, thank you for showing your love. Remember, it takes a lot of time and a lot of focus, a lot of energy to put out this content, especially today's 2-hour broadcast. So thank you for showing your love by clicking that like button. I appreciate it. Leave a comment below. That also helps the channel. And let us move on to part 2 of today's broadcast in very specific predictions for 2024. These are my specific predictions for 2024. Starting with number 1, I see a series of issues that rise up between Japan and China both. Even a potential military exchange that occurs between China and Japan in late 2024, early 2025. I cannot help to think that some of this may involve somehow Taiwan. and perhaps even Japan defending Taiwan in some way or another. Being 2024 will be widely focused on power and power struggles. It will not be a good year when it comes to Zelensky and his country as the Ukraine slowly begins to retreat. This will be the end when it comes to the Ukraine in 2024. And Zelensky is going to kind of Spirit shows me him just going poof, disappear. So I don't know that vision of him just going poof and disappearing like a magic act on a stage. That's the way Spirit shows it to me. But it's like he's just going to disappear out of the light. So I don't know if that means like completely like being cut out of power and cut out of the planet completely. That could very well be the case because this is a big highlight of power in 2024. And therefore power struggles and power is going to cause people to be taken out, if you know what I mean. And that's what I have for the Ukraine, unfortunately. Israel claims that they are going to destroy Hamas. But in reality, they are actually going to be responsible for its growth and the birth of an even worse group to be feared, according to Spirit. It is going to be when all of these groups actually come together as one, including groups that previously did not get along with each other, coming together against Israel. And we will see this towards the end of 2024, but mostly when we hit 2025. Cyber attacks. Cyber attacks are going to be one of the biggest focuses when it comes to 2024. And we should have guessed. They pushed it out and told us in the movie that they just put out on Netflix, Leave the World Behind. They show us everything that they're going to do. No surprise the media is talking about it like never before. But cyber attacks are nothing new. Friends, cyber attacks and cyber and viruses and bugs on computers has been happening since computers have come about. And since hackers have come about. So it's an everyday occurrence, but they're making it a big deal. They're making it a big worry and concern. And we should know better that when they make things a big worry and concern, there's insiders that are part of their evil agenda that are going to do things that they're warning us about, that they can also turn around and blame others for. So cyber attacks is going to be one of the biggest focuses in 2024, aside from both artificial intelligence and political upheaval. And the power struggles, as I said earlier. That's going to be the biggest focuses of 2024. And cyber attacks will be blamed on a combination of China and Iran. And some will be their fault, for sure. But some will not. And they'll be just being used as a target. And mainly towards Iran. And Iran, because the deep state ain't going to do anything. They will do anything possible to cause a conflict with Iran. Remember, conflict means more money for them and for their contractors and their military companies and so forth. And they've been pushing for that for a long time. We know it. They've been pushing towards Russia and Iran. They already got their proxy with Russia. Now next is Iran. Iran's going to make some pretty less than smart moves in 2024, according to the spirits. Less than smart moves that will also cause changes and fights over power in Iran as well, as their current Ayatollah drops out of the light too. I believe he will be taken out in some way by perhaps his own people. You may remember I had a vision in the past of like a prince, like somebody within a castle prince being stabbed in the back by like his own brother to take power. Well, this would be the year we would see this come into fruition. But let me stick to the specific prediction of cyber attacks. Cyber attacks, again, are nothing new, but, they're pushing that agenda, so we're going to see them unlike anything. This moves me on to my next prediction. I see cyber attacks that are going to occur on vehicles, causing vehicles to suddenly plow into people, innocent bystanders. I see hacks throughout the infrastructure in the United States, Canada, France, India, and other countries. Even China will be hacked from both inside their own country and outside their own country. That's interesting. So I guess their own hack attacks on themselves, kind of like the U.S. will do. Hack attack on themselves and blame somebody else, kind of like what happened back in 2001, sort of like that, but not quite. Especially in the United States. Again, we're going to be seeing attacks that affect highways or traffic signals or highway systems in some form. This would include bridges. Bridges randomly going up and bridges randomly closing without no warning. And unfortunately, I even had a vision of a bridge going up without no lights or anything, just going up in the dark of night and vehicles plunging right into the water. So much more of this will be seen in 2025, but 2024 is going to give us a lot to talk about when it comes to hacks and more stuff. And again, tune in every Tuesday because, as events come closer and new events are coming, we'll talk about it on Tuesdays and every update each and every week. So make sure that you take time to join our tribe and smash that subscribe. So hacks. The one that really disturbed me was the hacks of vehicles. And all the big recalls on vehicles that are happening right now. The big recall of Tesla, of all cars. And we saw that in that movie. The cars all were driving onto the highway by themselves. Self-driving cars. But this is different. Again, Spirit showed me different. People taking control of the cars and doing evil deeds with the cars. Purposely driving them into something or somewhere or someone. And we'll see this everywhere, but especially in the United States because it's the home of Tesla, right? And it probably will be. Spirit says it's not going to be just Teslas, but Teslas will be the start of it. So big concern there. And, they just had a recall because of the self-driving mechanism in Teslas. Right after that movie was put out. Very interesting, huh? No coincidences, friends. No coincidences at all. So I see a runaway train. Remind me of a movie. What was that movie? Trains, Planes, and Automobiles, wasn't it? With little Danny DeVito. What was that movie? That was a good movie. But it reminded me of that. I saw a runaway train. Or a subway car, or both perhaps, could be two separate instances. And this could be likely connected to my previous prediction around cyber attacks. I see rescue efforts and even helicopters in the sky keeping up with this runaway train. That unfortunately eventually crashes into a barrier of some sort. A barrier that I believed, according to my vision, may have been something set into place on purpose to slow down or stop the train, the runaway locomotive. It was interesting. Like I said, it looked like something out of a friggin' movie. And, it stopped. It crashed into whatever this barrier was. But I feel like, again, that barrier was to slow down the train. And that's the end of my vision. When it crashed into that, my vision ended. So I would take it as it slowed it down. I mean, I wouldn't want to be the person in the first car because they probably wouldn't survive. Separately, on the next prediction, I see a series of cars or SUVs that begin to start exploding. And not by accident either, if you know what I mean. I also saw a vehicle explode in a parking lot that perhaps reminded me of a Walmart or a Target parking lot. That one particularly could be an accident, actually, that particular one. That would be, I believe, here in the United States, in a parking lot. It's going to seem odd. It's going to seem odd of cars exploding. And this will take us to the battery-operated cars especially. We're going to start to see a series of big incidents taking place, and I'm getting this now from the spirits. Big incidents taking place with fires on batteries in cars. But not just fires isn't going to be the concern. It's going to be the explosions that end up taking somebody's lives that become the big media push. I wouldn't take that particular incident so seriously because remember there is an ongoing attack against Elon Musk and Tesla. Even though they're pushing their self-driving cars, but they're still attacking them. It's really kind of fascinating to me. The whole thing's fascinating. I think it's all just a show, personally. It's all just a show. Moving right along. Some positive stuff here. Let's go on to let me go back to these cars exploding again. See if I can get more information on that from the spirits. One's outside of a building. It looks like a dark vehicle. It's either a dark SUV or a dark van. Looks more like an SUV, kind of like, that the celebrities drive around in and politicians. Kind of looks like one of those, actually. So it kind of looks like it fits on the side of the street in front of a big building. I don't know where this building is, but it's a big building, and it feels to me that the target is the building. This might actually, I don't see it actually exploding, not yet anyway in this vision, so hopefully maybe it'll get caught beforehand, and it won't occur. Now, Chicago pops out in my mind for one reason or another, and so I don't know if that's where I'm seeing this vision occur, or if there's a separate incident with an explosion of a vehicle in Chicago. United States isn't really where it's all really going to be the concern of exploding vehicles when it comes to not being accidental. It's going to be other places, especially France. France is going to be extremely vulnerable in 2024. France is going to be dealing with so much chaos on the streets of Paris and even issues when it comes to the Eiffel Tower. Spirit shows me this, and I've had this vision in the past of the Eiffel Tower kind of tipping over. I take that as a metaphoric. I mean, it could be literal, but I think it would take an awful lot to tip over that tower. I take it as a metaphor, and something's going down right around the Eiffel Tower. Something big is going down because the Eiffel Tower is so big. And I would think this would be, a new war against terror, unfortunately. They're going to pay highly. I don't know what for, but Spirit says they're going to pay highly in France, especially around big events, sporting events, sports stadiums, and where many people gather. And from France, it'll spread outwards. I'm geographically challenged at the moment in my brain, so I don't know what countries are outwards, but those countries. And I'm sure someone will leave a comment in the comments and let us know. I'm having a geographic blank in my brain right now. And all that just came to me just now. So let's see if we can get any more about these explosions. Prague, an explosion in Prague. These are vehicles going boom, boom. And even in Italy, but that one may be accidental, but it'll still be a big story, and it looks like it's a little vehicle. So this is going to be, remember, and that is part of the theme of 2024 is a combination of fire, water, and earth. So fire, that makes sense to explosions. Let's move on to something a little bit more interesting and on the positive aspect, and that's medical advancements and cures in 2024. 2024 and that 8 vibration, remember, brings in infinite possibilities. And those infinite possibilities lie strongly when it comes to science in the medical field. So much that has been hidden away as far as positive treatments and cures that are already out there, that they're not letting us have, will be leaked out according to Spirit. Finally, it'll all appear that big pharma and other medical systems are going to be served up a lot of their own karma in 2024. Karma for all the lies and the deceptions and the lives lost due to their mistakes. It should be very interesting as we also see major lawsuits and settlements being dished out by big pharma and medical facilities in 2024. Billions in payouts, Spirit says, billions. And they are going to have to pay up, especially the big pharma. But at the same time, the exciting part is these new innovations when it comes to medical and advancements with healing, which takes me to the next prediction. There will be several new cures. The problem is that these cures can only be utilized right now, for now, by rich folks. Look at the cure they just discovered, the cure for sickle cell, right? Which affects usually, I don't know if it's women or men, but usually darker skin people are more prone to sickle cell. And what's that cure cost if you want that cure? $2.2 million. Who that? And insurance companies ain't going to pay up that $2.2 million. And if they do, you'd have to be having rich people's insurance, right? $2.2 million. So that's where the problem is with these cures when they first come out. People aren't going to be able to access them right away because they're going to be so much money. But we're going to see amazing innovations regardless in the treatments and cures for many different cancers, including a new push for several alleged cancer vaccines, which will, not all of them, some of them are really good, but there's another one Spirit said that will later be determined to have long-term effects. That wouldn't be good, so we have to keep our eyes out for that. They already have amazing healing beds. You've seen them, med beds, but they have something beyond that. Spirit showed me they have these amazing beds that are not available or even known to the public at all. So the med beds that people are aware of are not the same as those that are owned by the very few richest families in the world, which would be the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, and all those people. They have these. and they're unknown to people right now in the public, according to Spirit. It's not the same as the med bed. Similar, but not the same at all. So it is when this information is leaked out to the public that they eventually become available to the public. And that may not be until around 2030 or in sometime in the 2030s. Probably when we step into the new earth would be my easy guess. Moving right along. With 2024 being a huge focus on our health and our well-being, the humanitarian efforts and so forth, it's going to be a year of concern for many new virus outbreaks and diseases. More being in areas where there has been conflict, such as Israel and the Gaza Strip and so forth. Some type of bug is going to hit Israel itself, and of course it'll be blamed and thrown around, unfortunately, at others. This will be a result of the conflicts, basically, and the devastation endured by the people and by the earth itself. The earth is going to start to fight back, according to Spirit, with outbreaks. And this is going to hit hard when it comes, unfortunately, to refugee camps, especially and an outbreak amongst homeless people. Spirit showed me along them as well, separately, even homeless people in the United States or Canada or wherever you may be. Whether it be somebody that's at a refugee camp, a tent city, or again, homeless on the streets, Spirit says it's going to seem very odd that it's hitting them mainly, as if it was a purposeful attack on the innocent. As if, again, we know about the agenda, the depopulation agenda. Not that that's connected, but it's a reminder in my brain. Just, we know what their goal is. And it's going to seem really odd is what Spirit made me feel. It's going to seem really odd that it's focused on those particular groups of people, mainly. Not that it won't be outside that a little bit, but it's mainly. And then the Spirit shows me you're going to notice in certain cities, homeless population suddenly disappears or drops. And that's not because they're leaving or they're not homeless anymore. It's because somebody's playing a magician, according to Spirit, and making them disappear. That's sad. I don't know where this is. This might actually be in Canada first. So, folks, no matter where you're at, if you're in a big city and all of a sudden you see homeless there one day and they're gone the next day, be very alert and aware that something's going on shady. I don't know where they're going, but they're disappearing. And it's not by choice, is what Spirit. And I'm getting this information right now while I'm talking to you. It's going back to the outbreaks and such. It's going to seem really odd, like I said, that it'll seem like it's a purposeful act. I see a sad vision of people being carried out literally in like bags. And for some reason, I feel that they are forced for some reason to cremate the remains of those that they're taking out in bags that I see in visions. And of course, there's going to be a huge campaign launched by both Big Pharma and the UN. So think about this for a minute. They're going to launch a big campaign, of course, to get them all, something. I don't know what, but something. I wouldn't trust neither one of them, to be honest, especially if Bill Gates is involved in any way whatsoever, which I'm sure he will be. But think about this, folks. 100 years of research, and there's still no cure for cancer. 40 years of research, and there's still no cure for HIV or AIDS. And well, actually, it's probably 100 years of research for colds and for the common day cold. And still there's no cure for the common day cold. But 2020, something comes and hits everybody. In less than 12 months, all of a sudden there's a cure. Can you say shady? Just saying, friends. Just something to think about. But remember, 2024 is the year of innovations, and this is the year where where these discoveries can be made. And we can hold in the light that, finally the common cold is cured, and finally the big C is cured, and it will be. They already have cures for many of them. They're just not accessible to us yet, but they are coming. And 2024 is the year where we're going to start to see that happen. That's exciting. And by 2026, when we're in that start all over one vibration, I would expect that things will be so much different in the medical systems. And even more so, again, when we get to the new Earth in 2032, everything will be completely different. Now, I did that already. Let's move on to Elon Musk, actually. Because, Elon Musk is certainly not shy when it comes to controversy in any means whatsoever. And he has been telling you for years now, I have been telling you, not him, I've been telling you for years now that I do not believe at all like I don't believe. I think it's all just a show. Musk is a huge government contractor who receives millions, maybe even billions from the government, especially for SpaceX. But for all of them, even for Tesla, he's received money. And he's a contractor, for starters. Not to mention that he surrounded our planet completely and is continuing to surround our planet with a web of low-altitude satellites that, as far as we know, could have health effects. But we don't know. They wouldn't tell us if they did. Just like the effect Wi-Fi has on our body. They're not going to tell you. Remember the whole cell phones causing tumors? People holding them up to their ear. Remember that? Going way back. They made that disappear real fast, didn't they? Most people don't talk with it up to their ear anymore anyway. I don't. I put it on speaker or whatever. Bluetooth, but I do not hold the phone up to my ear. But this is, things that he does. He's surrounding us with satellites. He's doing all these things while trying to put chips in people's brains. I don't see how anybody could think that that's a good person. Just, this is But at the same time, is he being twisted to go over to the white side, to the white hats? It's potentially possible the way they're harassing him right now. But again, if he was a big part of it, they don't want you to know, and they're going to do everything and anything. I find personally that to be pretty impossible for that man to do everything they claim he does. It's just not humanly possible. So we already know he's an alien or something, but regardless. This year in 2024, he is going to be a big focus, even more than he already has been. You'll see major attacks on both him and his company, which makes me think maybe he is shifting. But I don't, spirits of these attacks will be short-lived. So whatever they're doing, they're short-lived. But it seems like in 2024, it's going to appear like continuous attacks on Elon Musk, to the point of dragging him into congressional hearings. I saw him, and I don't know what these congressional hearings are about. I'm going to guess that it's his Platform X, because, they want to stop that, which makes me wonder even more. But he will have his hands full in 2024, especially with the Twitter X platform, which will endorse several hacks, and at least one of those hacks that's going to take the X platform down completely for a short time. We will also witness the cabal going after the X platform big time in late summer in the month of September. Likely all because of their push of propaganda and desires to rig votes in November. It's likely the case, but we'll wait and see. And it's going to be an obvious attack on our freedom of speech. And the X will not be the only ones under attack. There'll be many others under attack. So you're going to have to really start to watch what you say when we get into the summer months. And of course, as we get into September and October. But by then you might be too late. So you got to watch what you say when we start getting into the middle half of the year, the second half of the year. As soon as we step into it, just got to be aware. Because there's going to be many attacks on our speech. I think Elon's going to have a little bit of a health issue, but that'll be short-lived as well. Something that comes and goes, and don't make a big deal out of it, even though it won't be a big deal at all. So, moving on, the fight for our rights and our freedoms, and especially our freedoms of speech, are going to hit the forefront in 2024. And finally, this is going to become more obvious to many of the sleepers that there truly is an evil agenda out there to enslave humanity. So that's the good aspect that's going to come over this big fight for our rights and freedoms and our freedom of speech in 2024. It's going to be huge. Like I said, people taken to the streets. People are PO'd, man. They are not happy. And that's what we need. Power to the people, friends. Power to the people. I see an entire city going completely dark. And I got to say, it sure in the heck looked to me like it was New York City. But whatever city it is, I do not feel it's an accident either. This is an intentional dark blackout. And it's a wide city outage that's guaranteed to bring some type of chaos on the streets with it. Again, I'm not sure where this is. I had a vision from like kind of above looking down towards the city. Again, it looked like New York, but I'm sure a lot of cities look like that in nighttime. And I just saw everything go out, and then I just felt chaos in the streets. Chaos in the streets. So, and I think this may be towards the latter half of the year, but I wouldn't even be surprised to see this in the winter months as well. Moving on, something that I said we would begin to see and witness and began to witness in 2023 is the little ones that are getting caught up in trafficking breakthroughs, like large arrests. We did start to see that in 2023. But 2024 is going to be the year that the cat is let out of the bag, so to speak. So much is going to be exposed when it comes to the little ones and even adults. Not just the little ones, but adults. There's adults there too that are getting caught up in traffic, if you know what I mean. Not by their own will. No, well, nobody wants to get caught up in traffic purposely, right? So, that big, we're going to discover several politicians, several CEOs, and many other shocking truths being revealed to those involved, and not just getting caught up in traffic, but more so the corrupt sickos who keep these organizations running by paying them for what they want, if you know what I mean. They're going to be caught too. If you're buying and you're participating, then you're just as guilty. And I'm looking forward to that. We've been waiting a while for that. And I said we started to see in 2023, just in December, a plane in India, it was downed in France, coming from India, with over 300 people on there against their will, if you know what I mean. So it's happening, friends. It's happening, and it's going to get bigger and better, especially when the Epstein files are released. And I'm going to tell you about that in a moment. So many disturbing pow events, too, to bring up, unfortunately. So many disturbing. I mean, they're all disturbing what we already had. And we had so many pow events with many innocent lives taken in 2023, especially at universities. As I warned in the past, that they would occur in universities, and sadly, university, pow-pows are going to continue, unfortunately. They're going to continue, as we have already witnessed, and not just in the United States either, because everybody's like, it's always the United States. Well, look what we just saw in other countries happen. So it's not just the United States. That's what's going to make it even more alarming and more concerning. One incident's going to take place with a handmade or a 3D printed gun of some sort in a place where guns, or at least for the gunman, are not easily accessible. So it's like somebody that wants to access one, they can't access one, so somehow they're making them or building them themselves. And that's what they're using. Now, what pops in my brain is Japan, only because that assassination that happened, was that last year or the year before? The guy used a 3D printed gun. So I'm not saying it is Japan where this is happening. I mean, it very well could be. But maybe not. It could be somewhere where the guy just can't get it because he's got a record. That could be too. And he can't afford one. I don't know. But whatever the case, that's what Spirit showed me. It's not accessible. Here's the other thing, though. Universities are going to start to be forced to take extreme steps to protect their students. This is going to become a global effort to begin protecting universities, who are currently raking in millions and millions of dollars, by the way, in profits every year, and certainly can afford to instill some type of new security measures. They're just not doing it. They're going to be forced to. But I feel like there could be, which means there probably is, some type of dark agenda that could be tied to this. Putting in, like, for example, face recognition systems in the schools. When you go to college and there's a whole new face recognition system, that's going to be with you the rest of your life. I mean, they already have all our faces. If you're on social media, they got your face, especially if you're on Facebook. That's what it was all about. A CIA data bank. They got you. If you ever or anybody posted a picture of you on there, they got you, friends. They got you. And they have that face recognition in New York. They don't tell you all this. How do you think they got, even in Boston, how they got the guys in Boston? Face recognition systems. That's what they use. And they're more advanced now than ever. So that could be what they're going to instill in these universities. But there's other methods and other means that they can instill too. That's probably the measure that they're going to take, unfortunately. Because, it's Probably all part of the agenda, friends. Most of it is, unfortunately. Let's move on and talk about sky events and things in the skies, because it's going to be another interesting year when it comes to things in the skies. Not just necessarily UFOs and UVPs or whatever they call them nowadays, but just sky events in general. We saw the UFO and alien agenda really being shoved down our throats in 2023, if you remember, and the aliens that landed in Vegas and so forth. But this is, and the big whistleblowers, alleged whistleblowers, that could be actually CIA operatives. But regardless of the case, we do have more knowledge and wisdom about UFOs from 2023. But this is just the beginning of the UFO events and more disclosure events coming from another huge, bigger whistleblower. Several whistleblower spirit shows. April pops out in my mind very strongly, so I would expect the big whistle to be blown in the month of April when it comes to truth around UFOs, UVPs, and aliens and so forth, and what our government and military have, their capabilities. So I would also say to watch in April, not just for the UFO or UAP activity, but I would also tell you to watch for the biggest whistleblower right around that time of April. But also October also pops out at me very strongly. So 2 time periods when it comes to, again, UFOs, aliens, and military capabilities and whistleblowers. So it's going to be interesting, really interesting. You know, I had a prediction a while back of a UFO that would crash and be caught on video and be viral. We have yet to see that come into fruition. Perhaps this could be the year it does come into fruition. But remember, if it does come into fruition, don't believe necessarily that it's a UFO from outer space crashing. It could all just be a setup. Remember, it could just be a drone UFO that crashes on purpose so that it goes viral. Remember, they're pushing that agenda to get us used to UFOs, to get us used to the fact that they exist, right? That's what they do. They get you used to things. They build you up for it. What are they building you up for? Think about that real clearly. And let me move on to the next one. And this isn't in my notes either, but I'm going to tell you because sky events are going to be really interesting because we're going to see a lot of meteorites and meteor activity that we are not used to seeing. Therefore, seeing a much larger amount of meteors crashing into the earth. Most of them, of course, burning up when they come through the atmosphere. But regardless of that, there's going to be some that actually hit. I had a vision, and I actually forgot about this. Spirits reminded me. I had this, I don't know, maybe I talked about it on a Tuesday show. But I had a vision that looked like something out of a movie of a meteor coming down and going right into the side of a building, like clearly right through a building. A big building, like a big, tall building. I forgot all about that. So I'm telling you now, that's the vision the spirit showed me. And maybe I just had it this weekend. It's not in my notes. I forgot all about it. And I don't remember talking about it on a Tuesday. But it's been a long week. So remember, I am recording this on December 23rd, 2023. You may be watching it much later, but it was recorded. Where was I? Oh, yeah, we're sky events, right? We're talking about sky events. What else in the skies, Spirit? What else in the skies? Skies. An unusual amount of volcanic activity is going to blacken the skies in many areas, and that's going to be unusual because of the amount of darkness, from it being blocked out. So that's considered a sky event, according to Spirit. I consider that a weather volcano prediction, but Spirit says, nope, this is a sky, because black smoke in the skies, more than normal, blocking out the sun in areas, causing more issues, especially for crops. So this goes back to the vision I've been having for a long time now. Well, not a long time, but for the past few months, the last half of 2023 in my channel predictions, the video of the massive volcanic explosion. We did have the one in Iceland, but I feel like there's something bigger than that. Something more, not necessarily bigger, but has more of an effect on either people or something. We'll have to wait and see. And that could be soon too. That could be happening right around within the first month of 2024, January. So unfortunately, we've already seen a high rise when it comes to mental illness and people literally losing their minds and going cray-cray. I remember back in 2012 predictions. That's how long I've been doing this. I said that from this point forward, because we stepped into the new age, the new time period on December 22nd, 2012, that people weren't going to be able to handle the intense energy shifts every year. And every year we would see more and more people, going crazy, losing their minds. Even the Hopi prophecy says it, in that video, April 13th, 2029 that I did. That whole video, I talk about the Hopi prophecy, and they say these cities, people will walk like zombies through the cities. We see this happening already with the drugs that they're on and the cities walking around like zombies. California, doesn't matter where you go now. Portland, they're everywhere. So it's happening. Well, unfortunately, in 2024, there's going to be a bigger rise in mental illness. And it's going to become really, really obvious. And we're going to witness more folks having public meltdowns, more viral videos of Karens, lots of Karen videos in 2024, folks. Male Karens, female Karens, white, pink, purple Karens, every kind of Karen you could think of. We're going to see videos of Karens in 2024. It's kind of funny, actually. And not even just people having meltdowns, but countries having meltdowns as well. And it's going to affect many countries, not affecting the whole globe. It doesn't matter where you are, but it's the energies. These intense ascension codes and people's resistance to doing the work on themselves. When you resist the energies and you resist connecting to the earth, you get the opposite results. The opposite results is, of course, going backwards instead of forward. And it's going to be, again, as Spirit said, quite obvious in 2024. We're also going to see more breakdowns when it comes to politicians. And again, especially in the United States, we're going to see the U.S. is going to force politicians to start taking a stance on mental health. That's going to be what's important, especially, again, here in the United States. Politicians and political heads and whatever senators are going to start to make this a thing, like make it more. They've already tried and they already, addressed it, but it hasn't been addressed to the point of taking enough action that needs to be taken. So this alarming growth in mental health is going to be such a crisis that it's going to have to be discussed in the United States and globally. So this, of course, is going to lead to more homelessness and more addictions, and that, of course, leads to more crime. In turn, this is already, Spirits is already, but even more so, going to force good families to flee their homes for safer environments. That's basically leaving the cities, moving out of the cities, getting away. And then, the elite, they don't want you out the city. They want you in the city. Keeping you in the cities, keeping you in their matrix, keeping you locked in. They don't want you to wander off. They want you wander off, then you're not in that energy. Remember, we become those in the energy of those we surround ourselves with. We can be the greatest person ever, but if we're in an energy that's not so great and affected by it, before we know it, we're not so great. And we're taking actions that we wouldn't normally take because of the energies we're surrounded by. It's almost like a peer pressure. Energy is a pressure. So surround yourself by people that lift you up to joy and happiness, and life will be much more joyful and happy. So lots of things when it comes to that. That's sad with the mental illness. Let's move on, because speaking of mental illness, we're going to talk about celebrity mental illness, celebrity meltdowns. Because celebrities meltdown too, they are people too. And celebrity meltdowns as celebs begin to fall, with many truths being revealed around celebrities, including a shocking tell-all book, Spirit just said. A shocking tell-all book from a celebrity about celebrities. Well, watch them try to take that person out real fast. I think it's a male that's writing it, but don't quote me on that. Because I feel like Spirit's saying they'll take him out quickly. I can't wait. I don't read books. It's rare, but that's one I want to hear. Hopefully they have it on, listen, what's it called? Where you listen to the book. But anyway, meltdowns with celebrities and lots of truths being revealed, some leading to several arrests, which should be really exciting. And I would have been seeing for a long time big troubles and big losses when it comes to the Kardashian family. Blech, makes me want to vomit. But I see that 2024 is going to be their year, not a good year, but their year, where they're going to be dealing with a lot. Another one that came to my mind is Tom Hanks. Another one I want to vomit. Tom Hanks also comes to mind for several reasons. Wouldn't it be nice to see some justice around Hanks being served? Because y'all know about that. Tom Cruise is another one that comes to mind. It's all about the Toms, right? Tom Cruise. Tom Arnold is going to end up having a heart attack. That just came to me. Let me go back to where I was with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise comes to mind, and Tom is going to have some big issues in 2024. Maybe he'll finally come out of the closet. That would be great. But I think he's going to have big issues because at the same time, I looked it up, and it happens to be Tom Cruise's 9 personal year of endings and death of cycles for Tom Cruise, which could also bring about health issues or big problems. Some people even exit their lives when they're in a 9 year. So could this be the year that Tom Cruise exits? He does all his own stunts. Could a stunt be the last stunt he ever takes? The 9 year could very well lead Tom Cruise to a stunt that ends his life. I would tell Tom Cruise, you don't want to be doing your own stunts anymore. You're an old man anyway. You shouldn't be doing stunts. You're not a little kid. I know you're trying to be somebody, but no, don't do it. But he's in his 9. So, and I feel like actually a lot of the issues that arise around Tom Cruise is going to be arising around his ex-wife and his daughter. And I feel like there's something revealing coming out from his daughter. I don't know how old his daughter is now. I would imagine she's got to be at least a teenager, I would think. I don't keep up with celebrities, but I think she's got to be at least in her teens by now. So I see some type of honoring that comes about for Celine Dion. And this could be likely honoring of someone's work, after they passed away. But perhaps it could be something else. I don't know, but I saw a big honoring of Celine Dion. And whatever this honoring is, it seems like a big deal, especially for people in Canada. So I would think this honoring is happening for her in Canada. For whatever reason, I see a future statue being erected of Celine Dion in a singing pose, like she's like rocking, and that's being unveiled. So that could be what the honoring is, but it could also have to do with her exiting potentially. I mean, we know that she's not going to be around much longer anyway because of her health, but hey, she's strong. She might fight it, but she's being honored for something. It just felt sad to me. Like, it felt like an honor, but it felt sad. So we could only interpret it the way we interpret it. And it's certainly been some time since Michael Jackson's death. I actually was on MTV Canada, and that's somewhere on you can find that episode somewhere on my YouTube channel. So I was on MTV Canada in January 2009, the year Jackson passed away, where I told the host that I believe that we would lose Michael Jackson in 2009. Sadly, we did lose Michael Jackson, 4 months later, 5 months after I said it? Maybe 2 months, I don't remember. I forget what month he died in, but I said it in January when I was on MTV. Well, Michael Jackson strongly comes to my mind, as does his kids. And we haven't heard anything about his kids. Again, I don't follow celebrity news, but, I haven't heard anything big about his kids since he passed, actually. So I would expect something big to come out around Michael Jackson and his children. Perhaps some truth that actually is revealed about his death, or should we say his murder. It's kind of what it was. So I'm interested to see what that is, because here's another one I'm interested to hear, and it seems like a lot of past things are coming up, because I see something also coming up around pop star Prince. Purple rain, purple rain. I don't know what it is, but Prince was popping in my head very, very strongly when I was channeling these predictions. So I would say similar things around Prince as well. Like I predicted with Michael Jackson, except Prince, something coming up maybe around his estate, something around his music, all of that coming to the forefront once again in 2024. Likely this could also be related to the fight that was happening over the rights to his estate and music. Because, his family he didn't talk to. And, of course, as soon as he died, they all came running out, putting their hand out, fighting for his money. He should have had a better will. What I think, as I said back when he passed, I did a video on Prince. You should watch that if you missed it. Go back to right after he passed. I did it the weekend after he passed, whatever that date is. You can find that on my channel. Interesting information that was revealed to me about his death and what it meant. So if you missed that, go back and watch it because it's correct. Everything that Spirit said, the symbolism of his death and what that meant for the world and the shifting of the world, it all has happened since his death. It's pretty crazy. Things coming to the forefront. Yeah, you got to watch the video. Let me move on to the predictions. So I don't know what's coming up with Prince, but something's coming up around Prince. Felt somewhat exciting in some way or another. Another one that comes to mind is somebody I don't follow or listen to, and that's Kid Rock. Kid Rock came to mind, and I believe Spirit was showing me a very, very clear vision of Kid Rock. And I feel like problems are going to rock Kid Rock and ignite several different times for him in his life in 2024 and even in 2025. Kid Rock in 2025 is going to endure health issues, that he will win the battle against. And that health issue might be the big C. It might be, I like to say the big C. I don't like to say cancer. It feeds it energy. So when you hear me say big C, you know what I'm talking about. So it could be that. Not sure, but we'll have to stick around and see what happens around Kid Rock. I said it earlier, but I'm going to elaborate on it a little bit more now. And that is that many leaders who will be targeted for takedown in 2024. It will seem almost a bit surreal that all these people are dropping. It's going to seem really surreal, especially for certain people in certain countries. And I see many failed attempts, but also I see some successes as well. Two big targets for the cabal, of course, are both Donald Trump and Robert F. Kennedy. So I feel that they're going to fail at their attempts. We saw Russia take someone out by taking them out by blowing up their plane. Remember that whole thing that happened in 2023? Well, we're going to see at least 2, perhaps even 3 planes being taken down purposely because whoever's responsible is doing so because of a specific target that they believe is aboard that plane. So, kind of exactly what happened with Russia in 2023. And that guy, I can't remember his name, but you all know the guy that caused the whole I can't think now. I've been here too long. Dujaku or whatever you call it. I can't think. But you all know what I'm talking about. That guy from Russia that they just boomed in the plane. So I saw that in visions. It reminded me of that. Thinking that they're on board and they're taking out the plane. I would think that some of this would have to do with over in the Middle East, but it could be here in the United States as well. Taking down somebody's plane for whatever reasons. One of them they'll try to make look like an accident, like the plane had an accident, kind of like RFK Jr. Or JFK Jr., I'm sorry. Like that. Kind of like that. Interesting, right? So we're going to see at least 2, perhaps 3 planes taken down because, again, of the belief of who they believe is on board. One, they're going to try to make look like an accident. And they may be very surprised to find out that they're not successful with their target, either because their target wasn't aboard or that the plane managed to get out and land or be safe or escape in some way or another. Even the leader of Mexico may end up in the line of fire. I think he's going to kind of piss off the cartel a little bit. And if he does that, he's done. You're done, bro. You're done. You work for them, remember? The cartel runs Mexico. Abortion is already an issue in the United States, but I see this growing into a few other places, bringing protests to new countries. We're going to see arrests of people both giving and receiving abortions as laws seem to keep flip-flopping back and forth, especially here in the United States, state to state. It's going to be an ongoing issue when we get into 2025, when things really boil over around that issue in 2025, Spirit said. The Me Too movement, Me Too, is going to rise in a new way, Spirit says, as people come forward with shocking truths of the abuses they endured. This is probably where I was talking about celebrities and different things coming out around them, maybe potential arrests. Makes me think of Bill Cosby pops in my mind, and that other sleazeball. What was his name? What was that guy's name? Can't think of him. Little chubby guy that went into court with his walker. I'm sure someone will say it in the comments or in the chat. But yeah, those pop in my mind. So expect and interpret that similar events like that would be occurring. And again, Spirit says Me Too movement rises in a new way. A new way. So I don't know what that new way is, but we're going to find out really, really soon. United States allies are going to begin to diss America when America needs help in the future. That's it. You don't need to be psychic to guess that one. We will begin to see this in 2024. Remember what I said about 2024. Countries are going to renege on their promises and their commitments. That's a power thing, a power struggle, and a fight for power. So in times of that energy, in the 8 vibration of 2024, that's what we're going to see a lot. A lot of people reneging on their promises and commitments, saying they're going to do it and then totally taking away their offer, or taking away their agreement. It's going to be interesting. That would be a time for the Antichrist to come and, come with the peace treaty for Israel, and then all of a sudden, right after, boom, right? That's in the prophecies. So yeah, I didn't think about that till just now. So 2024 could be a very big year where we actually identify who the Antichrist is. People believe it's so many different people, and it's none of those people. People think it's Obama. People think it's Donald Trump. People think it's just Bill Gates. And I mean, the list goes on. No, they all just work for him. They all work for the Antichrist. Antichrist, it'll be surprising when he arises. And I think 2024 will be the year, come to think of it. The more I focus on the 8 vibration and what it represents, and people reneging on their agreements and commitments. Yeah, that's what it says in the Bible, but the Antichrist, making that peace agreement and then going against it. And yeah, interesting. Moving on to the next one, artificial intelligence. I said that earlier, but artificial intelligence is going to be the largest, one of the largest concerns in 2024, as AI not only takes people's jobs, careers, or businesses, but it's going to begin to take people's identities too, causing innocent people lots of legal issues when videos appear to like it's them in the video when it's not them in the video. This is technology in which the police and the injustice system can and will certainly use against people they wish to incriminate. So Spirit says, beware, folks, beware. Don't believe everything you see in video. Moving on to the next. Speaking of artificial intelligence, wait until they start to roll out their RoboCops. And I laughed when Spirit told me that. I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, really. So I'm just going to tell you the prediction. Yes, the Spirit says to wait until they roll out the RoboCops, because they already have them. Military has hundreds, maybe thousands of them hidden in their underground hideaways, along with their reverse engineered flying saucers and other equipment that you would be shocked to believe existed. Be shocked and wouldn't believe existed. So all of that in which they plan to use in the future, not far off in the future, according to Spirit. I don't know what they're going to use it for, but we can easily assume what they're going to do with all that stuff and all these. There's thousands or hundreds of flying UFO-looking machines and all kinds of things under there. I saw the vision of it. And they say something like, they're going to tell us something along the lines of, oh, well, it's going to save lives. We're going to use these because it's going to save lives. It's going to save military personnel's lives. And it's going to save lives of police officers, which, yeah, I'm sure it certainly is completely true that it'll save especially police officers' lives. They already have those robots that go into houses, cops use that save lives. A RoboCop that can go in and start shooting at you, that's an interesting one. Or lock you up, put you in cuffs, and roll you over. So it's kind of creepy to me. But that's what they're going to tell you. They're going to say, oh, it saves lives. This is going to be their tactic to use to make you agree to it, even though it's going to be creepy as all hell, friends. We're going to see the first security RoboCops being rolled out and tested in 2024. Likely, this is going to be in places like airports or shopping malls. Before you know it, robo-waiters are going to be serving you up food at your local restaurants. And by 2030... at least 30% of jobs will be taken over by AI robots. That's creepy. At least 30%, Spirit said. And this is a short, easy prediction because I only saw it for moments. I saw people walking around cities with virtual goggles on. I know the song by Rusted Root, we're living in a virtual reality. We're living in a virtual reality. Well, that's what it looked like in the vision Spirit showed me. People were literally walking around with these goggles on their heads as if it was the way they lived their lives, as if they were living their lives through virtual reality. And we know that's what Zuckerberg wants. He wants you to live in his matrix, because he don't like the matrix that we live in, because he don't have full control over it. But he has full control. He thinks he has full control over Facebook. CIA is really the ones that have full control over it. I wonder why he's building this $200 million bunker to hide from everybody. Now we know why, right? So, virtual reality. Creepy. It's probably wild, but still creepy. So there is a biological weapon being developed by China, according to Spirit, likely by the global elite who's backing it behind it 100%, that could make 2020 look like cake in comparison. It is a radical group such as the Taliban, Hamas, or ISIS that wish to launch this sick attack with this sick biological weapon that China has. And maybe they're making a deal over it. I'm not sure. But let us together, because Spirit showed me this, just let us hold together in the light that they do not get their hands on this. And actually that they don't even complete it, that it backfires in some way or another. And it's stopped before this year ends. Because if not, and it's used against humanity, that would be awful. And we would begin to see that play out by the end of 2024, but mainly in 2025. Mainly 2025. So let's hope and hold in the light. And again, that's another thing, we can bring up predictions and see future events because we can shift them and change them. Hey, perhaps that's why, we'll take an example. Maybe that's why the deep state's going after, say, Trump so much. Again, not that I'm a fan. I don't like any of them. I think they're all corrupt. But just hypothetically speaking, maybe they're going after him because they have a window into the future. And they know what future it would lead to. And maybe obviously it's not the future that they want. It's and they want future. They want control. That's why they're doing everything in their power to keep control. It's kind of fascinating. But I wouldn't doubt that's why, that they know the future and they're trying to make it their way. Just hypothetically speaking. Well, think from a scientific, sci-fi brain right now. So humanitarian efforts, didn't I say that already? Huge humanitarian efforts are going to ignite in 2024, as more and more parts of the globe become desperate for such assistance. And again, as I said in the beginning, in the first part, even artists and musicians are going to come together to raise money and awareness for humanitarian aid, which also tells us that there's going to be some kind of disaster in the future coming in 2024 that's going to demand more humanitarian effort. Because to me, it wasn't just, because we know that's happening with Gaza, that they're demanding humanitarian efforts, and it's not happening. So we know that's happening, but the way I was getting this vision and this information, it felt bigger and just felt like more to me. It felt like it felt urgent. Not that Gaza's not urgent, it is, but it felt more urgent, like we need a lot of people to do a lot. That's more what it felt like. Some not so pleasant predictions here. A couple of them is the highway massacre. I saw an incident occurring on a highway system. I saw dark vehicles and SUVs that at first pulled over to the side of the road, and then from there they blocked traffic, committing horrors in which you can only guess. As I saw people rushing to turn their vehicles around to the point of crashing into one another in an attempt to escape. I don't know where this is, but it felt like a thing that was that was just the first of a thing, like it would become a thing, like a concern. So let's hope that doesn't come into fruition. Along with this one, the movie theater terror. Because I feel like there's some sicko, and actually I feel like there's several, more than one, that want to be copycats of that Joker theater tragedy that happened years ago. I can't remember the name, and I don't want to even say it because we don't want to feed that energy anyway. But it happened years ago, and remember he dressed up like the Joker. Well, I feel like there's several psychopaths that have this desire to do a copycat, but some of them are just psychopaths' desire that aren't going to do that at all. We'll hold that in the light. But I also felt like what Spirit was showing me in the one vision I had that was like a flashback to that whole Batman thing. I heard voices that were of foreign descent. I heard a thick Middle Eastern accent very clearly. So therefore, I would think that there is more than one person in the group because they were like talking and yelling back and forth. So but I heard one accent, like there was one person telling everybody else what to do. So that's how I took it, that maybe it's a group together. I felt three. There was a three connection to this. So this could either be three separate events or three people responsible for the same event. It could be three separate crazies with similar agendas. Let's hope not. Let's hope none of it happens. These are the predictions I hope don't come into fruition. Moving on to the next one. Some people might think pirates only exist in movies like Pirates of the Caribbean, but this is not true by any means whatsoever. Pirates still do roam the oceans, and in 2024, pirate ships are going to become a major concern. Several different groups of pirates and even several different groups. There's several different groups of pirates, so they're not all connected. They're pirates even fighting pirates is what I was seeing. But I see conflict between two separate pirate ships. Two different pirates not getting along with each other. Well, that's good. They can go fight amongst themselves. We don't really care about that. But this is going to become such a huge issue that it's going to be more than just pirates that take to the seas. There's going to be so many pirate ships that take to the seas that it's going to be such a big problem that it's going to cause a new conflict to ignite between several countries. And these pirate groups, both, it's going to be interesting. That's how big of a problem it's going to be. It's going to cause literally a conflict, a row, spelt backwards, flip it around, between the pirates and even between several countries. And there's a big effect that this is going to have on goods, because that's what these pirates are doing. They're stealing ships filled with, goods that they can use for their own people. And therefore, those goods aren't getting where they're supposed to be going. So this is going to affect everything with goods and such as well. So I see that being an issue and conflict arising in the oceans with these pirate groups. These pirate groups will also be very up to par when it comes to their technology and their weapons, which means, of course, they're being supported by somebody big, right? Because they're up to par with technology, weapons, using things like drones and other means to spy and attack on other ships, stealing many of these ships in the long run. There will even be a pirate attack on a cruise ship that is going to force cruise lines to take different routes, even canceling out specific destinations from their cruise line destinations. If you're taking a cruise, just be aware of where the cruise is going. This wouldn't be like a cruise going from Florida to the Caribbean. That wouldn't be the case. It'd be somewhere, I would think. Oh, I don't know. I really don't know. But I wouldn't think that would be the case. I think we'd be closer to the Middle East where this would be happening. The Epstein files. Even though Epstein is, even if Epstein is deceased, even if it's true he is, the controversy still lives on. And as far as his information and even video footage, it's all going to be leaked out slowly but surely. Spirit says there's even footage of many political figures and celebrities entering and exiting Epstein's plane and island. He had cameras seeing who was coming and who was going purposely. Some of them hidden out of sight where they didn't know they were happening. And some of this is going to be leaked information. And Spirit says to pay very close attention to, but don't pay too much attention to, anything that's released by the injustice system. Spirit makes me feel that there are those that are guilty of Epstein crimes, of course, that will be twisted over to somebody innocent. So, if somebody say I was, on the plane. I was on his plane. And my brother wasn't, and I don't like my brother, so I'm going to twist it and make it look like my brother was on there and not me. Got my metaphor, my example there? That's what they're twisting it. They're putting the spotlight on the wrong people, purposely, if it's coming from the injustice system. Now, other stuff that's leaked in the Epstein files, leaked out on the internet and leaked in other places, that's the stuff to pay attention to that would be more accurate portrayal of what really was happening. And so, therefore, this is going to be a spotlight pushing, causing more people to push for the release of this information. And the lists that are released and so forth. So there's a lot more and still more arrests that will take place around the Epstein files. Give it time. 2024 and 2025. More justice will be served according to the spirits. I see major issues when it comes to the Panama Canal. I would not put it at all past China to sabotage the canal in some way for their own personal benefit and their own personal gain. The hope is that China, wants its own embargo route. But, they want to put the Panama Canal out of business so that they have full control over the trade routes. That's what they want. And by 2025, it could be very well be an end to the Panama Canal if other allies do not step up to the plate to help whatever situations arise around the Panama Canal, which I believe they will actually step up. But there will be points throughout 2024 and into 2025 where Bargo is not able to get through the Panama Canal for multiple different reasons. I would expect that there could be a point where there's an explosion at the Panama Canal that also slows down and stops Bargo from getting through for a short period of time. They need to put more protection and be more aware of what's happening around the Panama Canal. And Spirit says they need to dig deeper because the water is going lower. Interesting. I see major issues along the borders and within Poland. Poland must watch themselves. And they need to watch what they say. And even more so, they got to watch their reactions very closely. Otherwise, they're going to end up in a war, likely with Russia. Remember that whole 8 vibration, the whole power and everything that I said in the first part of this broadcast? Our reactions, our emotions, and the way we react to those emotions are of the utmost importance. Because you don't want to react. That's the problem. You got to watch your reactions. And Poland is just going to end up making the wrong reactions or taking the wrong actions and reactions. And I see big problems along the borders of Poland and perhaps even something or someone breaching the borders of Poland leading to a military exchange. The San Francisco Bridge has been jumping out in my mind for a while now. And I'm sure in one of my Tuesday shows or past monthly predictions, I might have said something about the San Francisco Bridge. But it popped out again to me when I was channeling these predictions. And I would expect that the San Francisco Bridge is going to sustain some type of damage. I don't know how. I only saw the bridge. It popped out and it felt strong to me like something's happening around that bridge. Now, remember earlier in predictions, I talked about hacking bridges and bridges going up and down by hackers. That could be connected, perhaps. But I felt like damage, some type of damage to the bridge that causes the bridge to shut down temporarily. So this damage to the San Francisco Bridge would be most likely from an earthquake, but it also could be some type of an attack on the bridge. That would not surprise me. And it could be both, because I felt like multiple incidents around the San Francisco Bridge. That big, beautiful bridge. Yep. So it'd be interesting to see how that all comes into play. I see many problems that are going to arise around the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, those poor folks in the Netherlands have just been hit so hard, especially their farmers, and they literally destroyed their farmers and farms. It was like every day there was a new farmer taking their own lives in the Netherlands. And just so many problems. And the Netherlands is at the heart of all of our produce globally. They are the best at it, too. They produce so much. They're the biggest producer. And the Netherlands is going to be a big focus. And I see major chaos and protests breaking out in the Netherlands. More people are going to step up to the plate, see, that didn't step up when we needed them to step up. There was a point where the farmers needed the people to step up and they didn't. And now look what happened to their farms. Now it's going to get to a point where the people realize they're kind of screwed. And then they're going to step up. And by then it's probably going to be too late. But at least they're stepping up. And that would probably be a big part of the awakening and the ascension light codes that Spirit said are going to hit in 2024. That would bring more people to the plate for sure when people awaken. So prayers to those in the Netherlands, because I feel like they are going to need it. Going back to cargo, embargo, and cargo and things being shipped in truckers. Because truckers are suffering quite a bit too. And with the coming AI self-driving vehicles and Elon Musk wanting to ship goods with, again, his self-driving solar vehicles, that's going to put a job and a dent in the trucker industry. It already has, but wait until he starts launching those trucks, those self-driving trucks. You just hold on tight. And other innovations in getting things and goods from one place to another are going to cut out a lot of what the truckers do. So the truckers are going to have major problems. We know what happened to the poor truckers in Canada and what Canada did to their truckers, their own people. And again, because nobody else stepped up to the plate to help them. And when you're suffering in the end, it's going to be too late to step up to the plate. So in 2024, when things are happening, remember, step up to the plate. You don't want to wait until it's too late and the game's over. You don't want to step up to the home run plate when the game's already over. You got to step up when the game's still in play. So big problems when it comes to truckers and shipping routes. I see shipping routes being sabotaged in different forms, in different ways, like we talked about the Panama Canal. I see even railway lines being sabotaged, all short-term, luckily short-term, but even a short-term breach and getting goods across can really screw things up for a while or indefinitely. So that's something that we are going to see. There you have it, my beautiful friends. That is my full 18th annual world prediction forecast and predictions for 2024. I thank you for hanging out with me this long. It's actually shorter than we've done in past years. Remember those days of 4-hour shows on New Year's Day? I had to shorten it up and split it into separate videos. If you want to get all of my predictions, because there's a lot more than what I put out today, check out my top 10 predictions for 2024. I'll leave a link up there above. And on my last episode, I believe it was December 26th of Tuesday's Tea Time, I did a preview of 2024 predictions as well. I'll leave a link up above so that you don't miss that one. And of course, today's show and January's predictions. January's predictions are different than all the other content that I provided so far, so check that out as well. Don't forget to visit me at my website where you can schedule sessions or register to be a part of one of the upcoming classes at spiritmanjt.com. spiritmanjt.com. Once again, I wish you, your family, your friends, an amazingly abundant, joyful, happy, and healthy 2024 and beyond. Remember to celebrate life, celebrate you. The more you focus on your blessings and miracles, the more blessings and miracles that are going to flow into your life. Celebrate that. Be kind to others as you would wish others be kind to you. And most importantly, you can say it with me. Be bold, be true, be kind, be you. Why? Because you're freaking amazing. Celebrate that. And have a beautiful rest of your day and a very happy 2024 and beyond. Namaste. Much love.